Right, the Nick Krauser from KrauserPOA.com, walking down the street, nearly bumping into innocent and hapless pedestrians in this lovely Eastern European country. Right, I just did a set there, which was quite interesting. A student whose Facebook I took. It's way too early to know if anything's ever going to come from it, but there was something she said in this set which got me thinking that there's a little technical learning point I can give you, a kind of a behind the technique point, meaning there's a certain technique that I propose in Mastery or some of my other writings, and I just want to explain the theory behind why I propose that technique. So what happened with this girl is she gave me a bit of eye sparkle, she was enjoying the chat, she gave me a bit of compliance, for example, when I lifted her sunglasses up and put them over her head. So anyway, it was just like a normal set, nothing special, no magic, no reason to think you've missed anything by not having it recorded. But when I went for the close about 4 minutes in, and I said, look, I want to take you out for a coffee, I think you're very pretty, would you like that? And she was like, ooh, yeah, yes, type thing. So I was like, okay, so I started getting my phone out. And she was like, oh, no. So I was like, what? She was like, I cannot give number on the street, we just met type thing. So the technique in this case is now it's based on your calibration. There's one of two things going on here. Either number one, she simply doesn't fancy you. You know, she's just not interested in meeting you. You've gone for the close, you've given her a chance to say no, and the answer is no. Now that's one possibility. So in that case, the medium is the message. Right? It doesn't matter whether she says, look, I don't give my number on the street, that's my rule, or whatever. It doesn't matter what the truth of that is. The fact is, she's essentially communicating no. So you have to accept no. However, my calibration in this case was that she did fancy me, so I literally just argued the toss. Right? Like, now I don't mean confrontationally, like why don't you do that? I was just normal. Oh, by the way, here's a nice dog, look at this. There you go, look at him. Hello, doggy. Hello. Oh, look at him. Anyway, so I don't mean I argued the toss like, hey, you fucking bitch, how dare you? That's like stupid, right? No, I mean, I just said, well, why not? She was all like, we just met. So I was like, yeah, well, like, how do people meet each other, you know? And she was like, oh, I don't give numbers. So I said, look, do you do Facebook? She's like, yeah. I was like, okay, add me on Facebook. Right. So that's like the technique. You think the girl does like you, but she's just putting up a bit of resistance. So you might as well, if you think she does like you, go for it. So that's the technique, is just, you know, persist a bit, argue the toss a little bit, and say, look, like, then how would you suggest we stay in touch? Now, why does this work? Now, it doesn't work for the obvious logical reason, which is convincing her logically. Right? It's like, if she says, look, I don't give my number on the street, and you say, well, how do people meet each other, and you logically bring her around to give you the number, that's not really what's happening. Now, as a man, you might think that's what's happening. What's really happening is it is your persistence and your willingness to challenge, because you're essentially challenging her, you know. She says, I think this, and you're saying, no, like, I think really it's like this other thing. So it's actually the challenging which gets her off the fence. So this girl likes you, she's had a brain fart and activated her default derailment, you know, like, oh, I won't give you the number, right, derailing the train, but you know she likes you. So you argue the toss, you're like, look, I will not let you derail the train so easily, I'm going to hold you a little bit more accountable here because I know you do fancy me. That's what you're subcommunicating. So then she appears to logically come round, but actually all you've done is you've changed her emotion by demonstrating some of your standards and boundaries and willingness to challenge. That's what really gets the number when you challenge her. It's not a logical exercise of bringing her to your point.